I almost did the intro again.
I was waiting for you to do it.
All right. Okay, so this is just a day later after our interview with Zach and Tara. They were absolutely wonderful.
They are so cool. Tara's so cute.
Yeah.
It was absolute delight. We're putting our news and recaps on the end of this episode because I'm not going to chop and screw the whole thing and put the news at the beginning. It'd be a mess.
We know what you want. You want them interviews. You want that goodness from the title. And then this stuff at the end is for the true fans who stuck around.
Yeah, and speaking of true fans, and speaking of why it was a good reason why we waited a day, which was a completely arbitrary decision at the time. No, it was actually a bad decision. We had time yesterday to do this.
Yeah, we just forgot.
We just didn't.
But at least 5 people, I counted, sent this piece of news into us.
Yep, I have their names. Okay, the Tumblr I am one was Neon Elysium. We also had Snack Barbarian, Josh Greenberg, Josh Escopete, Pete, I don't know, and Alexis L as well. Everybody was just like, Goons! And rightly so, because this is a crazy
They're not wrong about this. Earlier today, which is December the 2nd of 2015, Adult Swim released a 6-second teaser for a revival of Samurai Jack.
Woo!
Yeah, and the best part of it, and this could have been deal breaker if it wasn't the case, Gendy Tartakovsky is attached.
Yes. That amazed me because I feel like it's rare you get that because he left and I feel like it wasn't on the I don't know the inner workings, but there was a possibility it wasn't on the best of terms.
Yeah, but then he did Sony because they didn't let him do anything else other than Hotel Transylvania, which he was.
Cartoon Network got him on the rebound.
So hey, Gendy, yo, what's up?
Did you miss us?
We miss you.
Sorry for every time we canceled your show.
But yeah, it's coming out 2016, which is going to be the best year ever for cartoons. I'm already calling it.
2016.
Yes. The preview is very short. It's just Aku in the background, an armored Jack in the foreground.
Yeah, he's all...
He's wearing some kind of Galactus-looking helmet.
Yeah.
It's a really tall, stylized helmet.
It's all silhouettes.
Yeah, it's all silhouettes.
Yeah, it's all tweened silhouette. So it's I absolutely needed when I heard about it and I saw a Tumblr post and that video, I was like, I need to get a verified tweet or something because I could have made this.
Yeah, and that is how you should treat any news you see on Tumblr. Is I need to make sure this isn't fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything you see unsourced on Tumblr, there's a 60% chance just from the fact that it isn't sourced that it's bullshit, automatically, just from the jump. That's the bar.
Check that.
But
probably fake.
Adult Swim posted it on their official Twitter and their official YouTube page. Now, there's a couple of things that are interesting about this. One, it is a chance to finish the story, which is my only problem with Samurai Jack is that it didn't finish.
Absolutely.
There was no payoff.
Tartakovsky said in a previous interview that I feel like it's culminating to a fever pitch almost. I feel like it's time to maybe finish the story.
Yeah.
Now,
he's been working on it forever.
Yeah,
he's been trying to get this off the ground. There's always been stirrings of it.
TV, movie, whatever.
The IDW comics are supposed to end it, and maybe they still will in parallel to this. Now there's no excuse to not end it. We also don't know if it's a show or if it's just going to be a movie. But considering it's Adult Swim, it's probably going to be a show.
Yeah.
Also...
Yeah, or it might be a mini-series. Since
something like that.
Is getting on that train.
Oh, that might be it. They were like, we need more miniseries because these are really successful rating-wise, and they don't cost us as much money. I have an idea. Let's get some of these.
And here's something that everybody already wants to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, notice that we've said Adult Swim and not Cartoon Network. So this means that it may no longer be bound to a Y7 rating. In fact, it does mean that it will not, have to be, considering when it's being aired.
Jack's gonna cut a real man.
Not just a robot one.
For the very first time, he'll slice a real being with possibly red blood.
Yeah. I hope they don't go too far in that direction, because that's not what Samurai Jack came to be. I mean, maybe if it started on a different network, it would have been more intense. It would have been more like, an anime in that regard. But it would be super incongruous if he's, like, chopping heads off and swearing a bunch.
If he just murders somebody and it's just like, eat shit!
Yeah.
Aku, go fuck yourself!
Well, Aku now, of course...
Yeah, this is the other thing to talk about. I mean, I cannot imagine Phil Lamar will not be attached to this.
Of course he will.
But...
Unless they don't give him any dialogue.
Yeah, like several of those episodes.
Yeah.
But Mako passed away, like, over 5 years ago. Like, 7... Like, in between Avatar's Season 2... During the production of Season 2 of Avatar Last Airbender. Because they put that, that in memoriam to him in, Tales of Ba Sing Se, the best episode.
Yeah, but... Yeah. So they'll probably get the guy who played Iroh in the rest of Avatar. I don't remember his name, but he was a good friend of Mako, and I guess learned his special talking style to the best of his ability.
He did a good enough job, but it absolutely wasn't the same. It didn't have the same texture, and... I mean, obviously, it's probably the best we can do.
And Mako yells... I mean... Aku yells a lot more than Iroh did, and is a very different character, so, like, I am curious to see how that guy can perform it.
Maybe it might work better, like, because it's so screamy and over the top, we might not notice the subtle differences in their voices. Greg Baldwin, by the way, is his name.
Yeah, that sounds very right.
Yeah, I knew it was like a Greg. I didn't know this last name.
Yeah, it was like a regular name.
Yeah, just like a duder. I'm sure a very sweet man.
I mean, hopefully that'll turn out for the best, but it is a little... It's disappointing that this had to happen now and not back when Mako could have finished it.
It's back from the past. Yeah. Samurai Jack. It's back.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. I
Everyone's excited.
Like, everyone is flipping their shit, like, all over the
Honestly,
internet.
even as objectively amazing as Samurai Jack is, and we did that whole episode on it, and everybody dug it, I was like, today was a little eye-opening. Like, I knew people, like, enjoyed it when it was out, but I didn't know there was a Jack fever waiting to break.
Yeah, I mean, and it appealed to, like, a wide group of people because it was on, Y7 airing blocks, but it was also on Adult Swim and also on Toonami and also on all these different places over the years, so it, like, reached a lot of different people for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
The show had a lot going on. Like, on the one level, like, as a kid, it's just, a bunch of cool sword action, but, like, I watched it for the first time when we did our episode on it. There is some legitimate, like, artful cinematic sensibilities going on in that thing you don't see in anything.
No, like, even with, like, more
nothing.
modern cartoons that are so much more progressive, like, I haven't seen anything of that level of, like, cinematic, like, just out there-ness, except for maybe the Lemon Hope two-parter thing.
Yeah.
But that was more like art.
That was very different.
Thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think what it is that there's a focus now on more advanced and robust storytelling, which in the short slots that you get, it means that you don't have as much time to be as you don't have as much time to have, like, all these shots of, like, Jack wandering through the wilderness and kind of nothing happening. You don't have time to do these mood pieces if you're trying to tell a more robust story. Whereas Samurai Jack was really not about telling a story. It had a premise, and it had a goal it was working to, but each episode was just atmosphere. It was just mood pieces.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited.
I hope they can recapture
really
that, because like, if it's a miniseries, they may feel like they don't have time for that, but that really was the heart of the show.
I feel like Gendy can find a way to do that, because that's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like, if
because he also did that kind of stuff, like probably the closest thing comparable to Samurai Jack that he's done is the Clone Wars cartoons that he did, because they're very short, but honestly in a lot of them there's not a lot of dialogue and there's a lot of quiet moments, but they're all like a few minutes
like,
long.
even his comedy stuff, like Dexter, like, I remember it was one of the slower, like, It had a lot more like pacing, a lot of spaces.
It has some
between
good timed.
jokes.
It has some good timed goofs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of episodes where he would just, like, spend 5 minutes walking through the lab, setting up for a goof. And I actually remember, like, as a kid, I found those episodes wicked boring.
They're kind of tedious. They like this build, like.
But, like, as a little kid, like, I haven't revisited Dexter as an adult yet. It's something that we're definitely gonna do.
He'll just be like he'll have a box with a big bolt on it, and he'll be wrenching it for like
Oh my
20
God.
straight seconds. 20 straight seconds before Dee Dee even like shows up, and then suddenly like just dead silence with like ambient Star Trek noise, like, and then something just.
And then Dee Dee will come in. And
sometimes-
either that or Dee Dee will peek in and be like,
And sometimes the joke is like so like the famous like Mandark one where it's just his laugh. The whole episode, the joke is that he just laughs everything he does, and it's like that's a really
every action he
drawn
does
out,
is to the same cadence.
Yeah, it's a really drawn out kind of ambitious joke for a kid
It
show.
was like that was like 6 minutes of him making Mandark's voice actor laugh.
Brush. Like that was all it was.
Chew.
That was all it was. So yeah,
And then the end is just him weeping.
So I'm sure we'll get that Gendy pacing.
Scotsman better be up ends.
Yes.
Oh, of course. Of course he'll be there.
It was the only other recurring character.
Phil Lamar and
John
John DiMaggio like best friends.
We've got some other news that isn't as big, but is still worth talking about.
Yeah, our friend James, who Nikki and Tooch met in person, a very loyal Toon Goons fan.
One of the few people who didn't send us Jack.
Directed us to a Kickstarter, which already met its goal. And it's more just telling us about the project. It's called the Golden Apple Series by Studio Zemi. And it's
Zmei. It's Bulgarian, so I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Well, it's Balkan. It's different.
The studio. Well, it's Balkan. It's based on Balkan folklore. The studio is in present day Bulgaria.
Yeah.
At least the director is.
Yeah.
Because they actually said in the video that it's an international project, but the director is Bulgarian.
Okay. So the project is a 24 episode animated action adventure series based on Balkan legends and folklore. The Balkans, if you're not familiar, is like the southern part of Europe, but like more
of Eastern
Europe, yeah.
Not Greece.
Not Greece
but
and
the other
Italy,
South.
but like former Yugoslavia or stuff, kind of.
Yeah. What you would consider Eastern European.
Yeah.
And what they were saying in this video is, this is folklore that like is not in the global public consciousness. People don't know about this. I've never heard of any of this stuff,
No.
and it looks super dope.
I mean, this is
There's like it's a ton of untapped mythology that's never been animated, and it's going to be great for it to see the light of day. Now we did. Nina did mention that it got funded. That is to say, it met its initial goal, which is of £10,000, which is to do a promo animation.
Okay.
There are stretch goals. For £50,000, they'll do a 10-minute short film, and for £100,000, they'll do a 24-minute pilot. As of this recording, they've got 11 days to go, so I don't know how much further they're going to get, but something is going to come out of this. And the whole idea is, like what we were talking about earlier with Long Gone Gulch, we're not kickstarting the show here. We're kickstarting something that they can shop around to producers, to studios, and to people with money. So the more the money they get and the more of a promo they're able to make, the greater the chances are.
Yeah, like they've been,
which is always the case with this kind of thing.
Yeah, they've been working on the project on their own for 3 years. That you have professionals from Cartoon Network and from Disney, just like coming together working on this project in their spare time. Very similar to Long Gone Gulch, just like a passion project, really.
Yeah, and they've done as much as they can before they're like, okay, now we need some money.
Yeah, like they have a lot of character designs and like character descriptions and like this whole world setup and like this very like intense like lore and like world building, all sort of just set up and ready. It's about this mountain world where there's ancient spirits and like Kukar warriors and our main character is this cool girl named Vera, and her hair is a cloud, and like she comes from this city where spirits and people live together in peace. But then there's like an assassination attempt, and then war breaks out, and then there's all this crazy stuff and all these cool, amazing characters. And it's like a Balkans Avatar almost. It's like just insane. And I don't know any of this mythology whatsoever, like even a little bit. Like giant storm spirits, Samodivas. I mean, forest nymphs, sure. Cougar warriors, I don't know. Men dressed like demons. Like, it's just a bunch of just really different stuff, and it's...
Yeah, it's what we were it's kind of what we were talking about, like what they were talking about with Long Gone Gulch, how like they want to bring like mythology that isn't really in the general populace knowledge, and like I like I said before, I eat that up, so I love everything this thing's doing.
And then it's called the Golden Apple because they're searching for it. And it kind of signifies a pain-free, seemingly fast external solution to their internal problems, which already is a very loaded sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, woohoo. I mean, there's just this Kickstarter, there's a lot of really fascinating ideas they have going on, and I really want to see it, like, really, really bad.
A really striking art style.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Very fluidly animated. You know, it looks like it's female-led cast. The core team has a lot, like the lead character designer and the lead producer are both women. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's filling a niche that we didn't even know we needed to fill.
Yeah. I mean, our main protagonist is female, and then like her main helper is also female, a Samadiva water spirit, Tina. I mean, it's very like female centered and focused without being like explicitly like a girl power thing. It's just like there are a lot of lady types around.
Yeah, again, like the Avatar franchise, there were a couple episodes where like they in Airbender where they made an effort of girl power, but they weren't necessary. The whole series, both series were always like, yeah, there's girls and they're doing cool stuff like everybody else because they're people.
Yeah.
And so this is really cool. I'm gonna probably pledge something to this because I want some stuff to happen. I mean, I'm glad something is gonna happen with this because that's super cool.
But we want more stuff.
Yeah.
I want more stuff. This looks amazing. This looks like the coolest. And if anyone is from the quote Balkans and knows anything about this stuff, hit us up on email or whatever and let us know what you think about it. And
yeah,
stuff.
Learn us a thing or two.
Yeah, teach us some shit, because we're dumb.
We love learning. We learned so much with that interview. That bit about Rick's mouth.
That was the best.
Like, I was like, that's why. It's just part of his model.
Do you guys listen at home remember that bit that you just heard like 20 minutes ago? Wasn't that great? It was 24 hours ago for us.
Yeah,
Movie
we all
magic.
had like a full day of work.
Movie magic. I built gingerbread houses. It was dumb.
And our last story is just kind of like a brief cover of something that happened that I didn't know about.
Yeah, I'm super interested in it because I basicly Ralph Bakshi, famous for Fritz the Cat, Wizards, Fire and Ice, a bunch of old like really traditionally animated films.
Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Coonskin, which I've actually seen, unlike the other movies.
He basically just animated a movie basically by himself and more or less and put it up on Vimeo.
Yeah, it's...
like for like a few bucks you can rent it and
$4 rental. It's 22 minutes.
Called Last Days of Coney Island, which he pretty much animated completely by himself as a 77-year-old.
Good Lord. Yeah, I sort of fell off. Like, obviously, when I first started really getting into animation, I stumbled upon him and looked him up, and he always seemed kind of cool, because back in the day, he was very, animation counterculture. He was very non-Disney,
It was a new
everything at the
era
time.
for animation at that time. You
Yeah.
know, like the rise of the independent animator and like the rise of cartoons outside of this Disney formula.
He had trouble finding people to do Fritz the Cat because they were just like from Disney and being like, "What do you mean draw a boob? What are you talking about? What are you talking?
If you're not familiar
illegal.
with Fritz the Cat, it's a movie based off of an R. Crumb comic, and it's an X-rated movie. Is it the first theatrical X-rated animated movie?
I mean,
I don't
know if it actually. I don't
but-
think it actually was. I think Japan might have beat them out to that with one of their. Tezuka Studios had a series of films that were more like risque, and I think the first one they did was like an adaptation of 1001 Arabian Nights. That was
in the
booby.
Yeah, but apparently in the U.S.
Yeah,
it
in
was
the
the first
US,
feature
it was the
film
first.
to receive an X rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is to this day the most profitable independent animated film of all time.
However, if you're looking to see something super scandalous, it's just a bunch of furries doing drugs and you see a boob sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't. It's
kind of quaint.
X-ratedness doesn't hold up, honestly.
No, but
I saw worse stuff today just being on the internet.
Is it more or less explicit than heavy metal?
oh, heavy metal's not that explicit. There's just boobs.
No, it's just like boobs and cool
think-
music.
I think less, because heavy metal's sort of in your face about it, I guess. And Fritz the
guess.
Cat is just like, I'm gonna do a drug and then black out and then wake up and then we're all in a bathtub when we're naked. We're not fucking though. We're just sort of chilling in this bathtub.
So
I don't know.
The film itself, he describes it as it's about the desperation certain people have who aren't educated, but they try real hard to have a love, to have a life, and they're usually a train wreck. They can't help destroying everyone else's life as they intertwine. And, it's set in the 60s, which is, his time, in the shadow of Coney Island, which isn't what it is. It's definitely not what it is today as it was back then, or even decades before then. These are people who are so isolated from what's happening in the country, the revolution and the peace marches and all that. They're sort of on their own little island. Bakshi says, it fascinates me to watch these people try to get somewhere. I root for them, really, even though it's a disaster. And he was inspired to do this project apparently because of his son, Edward, who produced Last Days. And he gave it a try, and it was Kickstarter backed, actually. They raised more than $174,000 for him to make this movie, so...
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It's like, this is pretty cool was kind of what I was just thinking to myself, like, this is awesome. I'm glad he's still doing stuff and he's still out there working it. But then at the very end, he's like, oh yeah, if this works out and it makes enough of a profit, I'll do another movie and it's gonna be Wizards 2. And I'm like, what? Oh, okay. Well then I'm invested now because Wizards was a really fun flick.
Oh my god.
Either you ever see Wizards?
I haven't seen it.
Poopsmith dressed up as Necron 99 one year, and
It's
because the Poopsmith costumes are fucking inscrutable.
Yeah, it's a fun his movies are always kind of weirdly paced. It's all very. It feels like a home movie, even though it's fully produced animation.
Yeah, it always feels very grungy like that.
But and
it's
now
I
this
wouldn't
time he
call it
has
a
an
fault.
excuse.
Yeah, I mean, the film was, mostly done traditionally because that's how he knows how to make these movies.
Yeah, like they asked him, like, did you do this traditionally? And he goes, like, there's no other way to do cartoons, son. I'm 77 years old. What's the syntic?
Apparently, Toon Boom and Photoshop was used for, like, pencil tests and coloring assistance, but he probably got somebody else to help him with that because he said he did, like, 97%. So all that technology stuff was probably someone else.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is like, part of the reason why animation is so expensive because there's so many people who go into it. Mm-hmm. Even with, he got $174K for one guy. Like,
yeah, just one dude who's like My son says I should make another movie, and I guess I'm bored.
Does this article say how long it took him to do it?
I don't think it does, actually.
That's weird. It should have.
Because that's the most fascinating thing. I can't imagine he would have been doing much else, because he's 77, and he got $174,000.
And it's a 25-minute film, so, like, you know.
Let me see. He launched the Kickstarter in February of 2013.
Okay. So,
Right,
between then and now, he made the film.
Yeah, so that's almost 3 years since he got the money, and then, but, you know, obviously he was working on it before then, probably.
Probs.
Nobody starts with the Kickstarter unless you're a real dipshit.
Like, several Kickstarters came to mind.
I need to, tell my animation professor if he knew about this, because this is rad. And it's very cheap to rent.
Yeah, $4.
$4 for 72 hours. So you could just watch it over and over again if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Groundhog Day yourself. And maybe we'll cover it. I mean, we haven't done anything Bakshi.
We really haven't, and we should, because his stuff has really got its own style to it.
Wizards too!
Wizards too!
Yeah, if it's not this, it'll probably be Wizards.
Okay.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, I think Coonskin would be a little difficult to talk about.
Yeah, let's not.
Okay, that's all I got for news.